there's another magic tutorial for you. As always, right down there is the link to my disclaimer. If you've never watched that before, watch it once before you see my tutorials. It's not very long. Now for this one, first thing is say we'll have the Spectator take the deck. Let them shuffle up as much as they like, and then split the deck into two equal halves. You know, about I want them to pick one for themselves to keep, and then hand the other one to me. And they have their pack, and I say, all right, what I want you to do for this one is to make sure there's, no one else helping me out, no one else in on it. I can't even see what you're going to be doing, so I want you to take your deck and put it behind your back for me. Just keep it behind your back. And while it's back there, I want you to reach back with the other hand and just pull a card out of the middle somewhere, just any random card. And I want them to take a look at it and show it around to anyone else they want to. Just don't let me see it, although I will see it for purposes of this video. And then put it back on top of your packet. Okay, and now bring your packet back around front for me, and we'll put my packet on top of yours. So we got your card there, lost in the middle of the deck. Now I want you to take the whole thing and put it behind your back again, so no one can see it. I can't tell what you're doing even. Now I want you to take the top card off the deck and slide it into the middle for me. Now take the next card off the top. This time I want you to flip it over and slide it into the middle of the deck. And bring the whole thing back around front. Now ask them to go through there and find the face-up card they slid in, and look at the card right below their face-up card, and it will indeed be their selection. Now to start out for this one, now I realize it doesn't seem that impressive when I'm doing all the work, because I'm the magician, I could have done anything, but all of the work is in the spectator's hands. So in the performance, this is an excellent trick in performance, in a real performance. They really can shuffle the deck up as much as they like, and then they split it into two packets. I take one, they take one. That's a totally free choice. Now, you ask them. Now I want you to, the line in the performance you heard me use, whatever you want to come up with yourself is fine. But for whatever, you want them to hold the deck behind their back. And as you tell them that, take your packet and put it behind your back to demonstrate. And then you ask them to go through, pick a card, show it around to whoever they want, and put it back on top of their packet. While all that's going on, you're still holding your packet behind your back. And behind your back, this is what you're doing. You're reversing the second card from the top and the bottom card. Now, if you are having trouble or whatever, or can't do that with one hand, you can have both hands behind your back. It's not quite as impressive because they might start wondering if you're fiddling with the deck somehow, whereas if you just have one hand, it seems unlikely you could do much with the deck, which of course is not true if you want to put in the practice time, because your spectator is going to have to put both hands behind their back in order to pull the cards and move them around and stuff. And so if you want to have your other hand behind your back in order to do that, it'll be much easier, obviously, but you're going to have to it's just not going to be quite as impressive a trick. Now I'll give you a little detailed explanation about how I do this with one hand. If you want, you can just take the cards and just start playing around with them. That's how I came up with this, to see whatever little method works best for you to be able to flip the cards around reliably. But what I do is first, I gotta try and push over two cards with my thumb, and what it is I'm feeling, because this has to all be done by feel behind your back, I'm feeling with my index finger for the edge to scrape over for one and two cards, and then I'm pinching them between these first two fingers to rotate them up so that I can grab it again between my middle finger and my thumb as I drop them back down. And then I just do the same exact move but with just the top card. So that's how I reverse the second card, and then just flip the whole thing over, and you can see how that works. That's very easy. And then reverse the bottom card, and one last time flip the whole thing over so that the whole deck is face down except for the second and the last card. And then when you have the Spectator, then when you bring everything back around front, you have the Spectator has their card on the top. When you place this on the top, you see you've already got your face-up card right on top of their card. They take a card off and slide it into the middle. They take another card off, flip it over, and slide it into the middle. And then when you look through the deck, okay, see, now that's kind of a good thing this happened, because this will happen every once in a great while. When they slide one of the cards in, they're going to manage to slide it right between the face-up card and the face-down card, and their selection. It won't happen very often, but it will occasionally. When it does, and they flip this card over and it's not their selection, they'll tell you, that's not my card. You go, oh really? Well, check one more card down, see what the next one is, and then they'll turn that over and it is their selection. Say, oh well, see, that's why I'm the magician and you have to just be the spectator, because you know you missed it but you were really close though. You only missed it by one, so that's still pretty good. And it's still a pretty good trick even if that happens, because just beating one card off is still pretty dang good out of a whole deck of 52. Although most of the time it's going to be that select the very next card down. Now I know it might seem a little strange and you have them move a card and then move a second card, but I've never been called on it. I've done this trick I don't know how many times for how many different people. No one has ever questioned the fact that I had to move a card to the middle and then flip the card over and move it to the middle. Or if you want, you could have maybe put the first card on the bottom even. You know, just less chance of having one of them slide in between. So that's really all there is to that. Not much else. Just make sure that when you do this, there's nobody who's going to be behind your spectator and eyeballing what's going on behind the back, because obviously that's going to give the trick away if they see that. The other thing is, if you are going to do it with one hand, practice to make sure that you can reliably do this fast enough that you can have it all taken care of before the spectator's card has been chosen and shown around and replaced and all that, so that you don't have to stall between the time they finish and the time you bring this back around to the front. It's not too difficult because you got it behind your back, so you don't have to conceal your moves really. They're already concealed. So just put a little time in on that, because it really is much better if you can do it with just one hand, and have some fun with that trick.